Hey guys, and welcome back. Um, last video we oh, excuse me. Last video we went ahead and made our ball start moving around the screen, and that was a pretty big step. So let's just see here. Look at our beautiful handiwork. Yeah, look at that. That's awesome. But in this video, we're going to take it one step further, and we're going to have the ball bouncing around the screen. So when it goes off the screen, it's going to turn around. So in any kind of game loop you have, so here's game panel where our game loop is. You have update and repaint. I've said that a million times now. Um, and what happened was an update. That's where all your logic goes. Your AI code, your moving code, code to handle keyboard input, all that stuff goes in update. And then paint will draw all your pictures on the screen based on the updated information. So it keeps doing that back and forth to put that in perspective for you. So to bounce off the screen, we're going to have to go into ball.java, and that's logic code, so we're going to have to put that in update. And it's pretty easy to do this. You just have to try to think about it logically. So when our ball updates, it moves in its normal velocity by 1 pixel. So what we're going to do is we're going to extend that. After the ball moves, wherever it's going, left or right, up or down, whenever it moves, then we're going to have an if statement in here. If the x position, remember the left and right direction on the screen, its position rather, if its x coordinate is less than 0. So if the ball is off the screen, because remember, a 0x is all the way on the left. So if it's less than x, that's past the screen, you're starting to go off into nowhere land. And we don't want that. So we can just check if the x coordinate is less than 0. Then we can say x velocity equals positive 1. So if we're going left first, starting in the middle, every update we're moving left, keep going until x is less than 0 when it's starting to go off the screen. Then this if statement will be true. So what happens is the velocity will go to positive 1. So it'll start moving to the right again after it's 0. So when it starts going off the left of the screen, then it turns around and x velocity is 1. So now next time x equals x plus x velocity runs, it'll be x wherever it is on the x coordinate plus positive 1 now instead of negative 1. So it kind of reverses it. And then likewise, we can do else if x is greater than 500, because remember our window size is 500 pixels. So now if it's going off the right side of the screen, we can say x velocity equals negative 1. So it'll start going to the left again like it is at the beginning. So let's just test that out, see how that works. Now our ball should bounce off the left and right sides of the screen. So center this for you. Let's see here. Oh, here it comes, the big moment. And nice, see, look at that. Our ball's bouncing. Doesn't go off the screen anymore. Yes. And now if you watch, something you might find a little strange is going to happen on this side. It's not going to look quite right, and there's a reason for that. I'll explain that in a second. So here it is. and then it bounces after it's already off the screen. And I'll explain that. See, remember when we're drawing our oval here, how we have to specify the X and the Y for the top left of the ball? So that's right here. This is the X position right now, the top left. And it's drawing it every 50 milliseconds. It's drawing from that spot in the top left over 30 pixels. So we always have a 30 pixel ball based on where it is. Now, when we get over here to this side, remember it checks for when X is greater than 500. So my mouse is X at the top left of the ball. See, it waits until the top left corner hits the side because that's where our X value is the top left. So when it goes on the right side, it looks a little weird. And the same thing applies for Y too. If we were to see if Y is greater than 500, it would wait until it's already off the screen and the top left of the circle is gone off the bottom. So we can fix that. Let's see, let's go to our ball here. So this is when the problem happens, if X is greater than 500. So what we're going to say is if X plus 30 is greater than 500. Let me just compile that. Okay. Now, because remember, our oval gets drawn from the top left at our X and Y. So our X and Y positions are at the top left of the ball. And then it gets drawn 30 pixels wide and 30 pixels tall. But we have to remember that the actual position is at the top left corner. That's what we're keeping track of. So if we say X plus 30 now we'll go start the game up again. So now it's going to go to this side, at the top left. This is X, the top left of the circle, and X is 0. So now it's going to keep bouncing the other direction now, like we said it would. Now, we're going to see if X plus 30, so if this is my X right now, and I say X plus 30, that's the right side. So this is X plus 30. Boom. And now it's going to start bouncing the other direction now. Because now we're checking to see if the top right of the ball, X position is normally at the top left. So X plus 30 is the top right, because that's the width of our circle. So that looks much better now. So, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make another variable just to make this a little more neat. I'm going to make a variable called size. And it's an integer, and that's going to be how both the width and height. It's going to be symmetrical on both sides. So we can just say size equals 30. And we can go down here. And this is just so we don't have, if we wanted to change the size of the ball later on to say 50 pixels or 10 pixels, all we have to do is change size. Whereas before we'd have to go change the 30 to 10 here, the 30 to 10 here, and it could get out of control really quick. So we'll just have a variable called size, and we can just change that once if we want to change the size. And I'll actually do that now so you guys can see. We're going to say ball is 50 pixels now. That's how big it is. So we'll compile that. Come on, game. There you go. Okay, that compiled fine. Alright, that's much bigger now. So top left is our X position and our Y position. It's top left. Keep going. X is less than 0 now. Okay. So the velocity changes to positive. So our X is now increasing every update to the right. And now Now the game is trying to check for if x, the top left, plus the sides, which we changed to 50 now. So x plus 50, that's the top right. If that's greater than 500, bam, x velocity gets set to -1 and we start going the other direction. And that's our logic code for ball. Any logic code goes into update, and then Paint can use the updated information that was computed in the update method. That's why update comes before Paint in the loop, so that all the logic, all the AI code can run, and all this new information for this go through the loop can be computed, and then Paint can use that new information to draw more up-to-date pictures or whatever. So that's how things move around, and you can see it on the screen. So that's basically it for now. Actually, no, one thing I will do real quick is we'll do the same thing for the Y velocity, just to have it complete, and then we'll have the ball start moving around the screen. So if, let's see, we're doing Y now. If Y, the top left of the ball, is less than 0, so if it's past the top of the screen, then we want the ball to start going down again. And in programming, a positive Y direction is going downwards. It's kind of the opposite of what it is in math. So we want +1, start going down. Let's see here. And we can say else if, now we're checking for the bottom screen, but remember, because it's in the top left, if we don't specify this, it'll wait until the top left corner touches the bottom of the screen. But we want to wait till the actual bottom of the ball touches, so we'll say y plus size is greater than 500. And we want to say our y velocity is -1, so we'll start going up again. And you could have a variable, much like we did for size, for speed, so that if you want to change how fast something goes, you don't have to change it 4 million times in here, like what we do now. If we want it to go 3 pixels every update, right now we have to go and change every single one to 3. And in your guys' program, you might want to go back and make a speed variable. And don't you worry, there will be homework. Ha ha ha, there will be homework. Just you wait. So now it's going to go faster. Okay, I'm actually going to speed that up a little bit more. And I actually want to have the Y, because right now, none of these are going to get called because it's only moving left and right at the minute because we didn't set a Y velocity for anything. So, yeah, right now Y velocity is at 0, so it's not going up and down. But, oh, wait a minute, that's why. Jesus. So we'll actually do 4. See, this is why I like to do this without a script for you guys, because you can kind of see the thought process behind all of this at the same time. So we'll have the ball start going downward, we'll say. And I know you guys might not be able to see the bottom of the screen because I'm on a netbook, and netbooks, well, they suck. So it should go faster now. Ooh, look at that. There it goes. Boom, boom. It's starting to look a little more like Pong now, isn't it? Nice. Now on yours, you're probably going to notice something a little weird, and that's when it goes off the right side and off the bottom side. it's still like it kind of goes off a little bit. You'll notice that, and that just has to do with the way the J frames are. It has like a little left over. I'm trying to remember exactly what it is. I think actually if we go back to game panel, no, not game panel, Pong here. I remember in college, I think I remember saying that there's like some excess stuff. So based on the width of the J frame, like it counts the actual frame in the title bar as part of the width. So if we say like, oh dear God, not 5,000, sweet Jesus. I want to say it's 507 to make up for the, like if we want 500 exactly on our panel to mess around with, we have to kind of offset the size of the frame. And I want to say it's 7 for the little panels on the sides, like these little, whatever you want to call them, sliders on the side. I think 7 makes up for both of those, and then 33 I think is the other one for the title bar. And that just has to do with how J-frame does its thing. That doesn't really have anything to do with us, so that should look a little bit better. Yeah, I meant these little things on the side here. That's what the 7's for both of those. Yeah, that's much better. And on the bottom, you guys can't see right now, but yeah, that works fine. Okay, cool. So I think that'll do it for this video. Next video, we'll probably start working on getting a computer on there, and then we'll do the player finally. Actually, you know what? No, we'll start on the player now, so we can actually have some interactivity. But I'll see you guys in the next video.